Your voice, your opinion, your community. Fact TV, free speech protected.
Good morning and welcome to the feed. This is March 4th and here we are with Marty and Kerry and Jen. It's just like I was saying when they came in, the sap is running, so it's time for people to start running.
Almost spring.
Almost spring.
Yes.
It's so good to see you again. This is like the third or fourth year, right?
Wow.
It's at least the third year, I know.
Yes.
Sixth annual run, but it's the third or fourth year you guys have come to talk about it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Very
Thanks for having
exciting.
us.
Welcome back.
Thank you.
What have you been doing for the last year?
Gearing up for the stakes race.
Hitting it.
Yes.
Planning for the
Yes.
race.
A lot of
Planning.
planning. It takes a lot of people and a lot of time.
It does. Well, let's do the who, what, when, where, and how first. It's like, when is it? Well, what is it? It's the Rockingham 5K.
Yeah.
Run walk.
And it is Saturday, April 4th,
1 month from today.
1 month from today.
Good timing on our behalf.
Yeah, we
Yeah.
planned that out.
Yeah, great. And it's, we have registration that day from 9 to 10:15. If you'd like to register that day, we have registration going on
Mhm,
now.
mhm.
And the race begins at 10:30.
Great.
Yes.
And it looked like you have, is the 10 o'clock fun run, is that something new this year? Or do you always do the fun run?
No, we started that last year, I
Okay.
believe. 100-yard dash. It's free.
Is that for the
It's
real
free
little?
for, yeah.
Yeah.
The little ones are
5
people like
and
me that don't
under?
want to
Yeah.
run that far?
Right.
Yes, yes. 5 years old and
Oh,
under,
yeah.
and everybody
You
gets
can't
a
be
medal.
in it.
Yes,
Dang,
yes.
dang.
Everybody gets a medal.
Everybody gets a medal. That's a bummer.
Lots of fun.
So you also have, are you still cultivating your rivalry, I guess, for lack of a better- interstate rivalry with the Thunder Chickens?
Chickens.
We sure are. Last year, we took a bus over and did a practice with them. We brought some snacks and the kids ran together. So we ran with the Thunder Chickens. They got to know each other before they arrived.
Oh, that's
So
nice. Are you
it's
going
a-
to try to do that again this year?
we
We
are.
hope to, yes.
Yes, it's a great rivalry, and they're so supportive of our race, and we appreciate the Thunder Chickens and their families coming over and supporting us. It's fun to be together.
Yeah,
Yeah, and to connect the two communities.
really, it does.
Because the community, and I know we've talked about this in the past, the communities used to be more connected.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
The
Mhm.
you know, the kind of Fall Mountain and the district over here, because really it's, there's a lot of crossover. And so it's nice to have that started again, especially because the kids are young. So hopefully they'll
Yes.
keep those connections, they're rivalries in sports, but it's still nice to have
It's
those
friendly,
connections.
yes, it's
Friendly.
Yes,
Yeah,
it's
they
friendly.
know each
That's
other
good.
now.
Yeah.
They start to recognize each other
Yeah.
year to
Yeah.
year, and
Yes, yeah,
That's cute.
sometimes they end up running together.
yes,
So
it's
yeah.
fun.
How many kids do you usually get run from the school?
Oh, boy. I'd say probably a roundabout guess is probably 60 to 70.
Wow,
We
that's a
start
really
Runners
good
Club
turnout.
today. We have a
Mhm.
Runners Club. Kindergarten and first graders start today. Second, third, and fourth start tomorrow.
Oh, great.
Yeah, so.
You have the weather for it. It
Yeah.
looks like
Yes,
you
we
get-
do.
Yeah, this is
Yes.
gonna be
Lots
nice.
of times we're stuck inside, but hopefully, by the look of the weather coming up, we'll be able to
Mhm,
get
mhm.
outside.
Yeah, that'd
Yeah.
be a lot of fun.
So in the Runners Club, do they start out, how does that work? Do they start out with just a little run, and are you trying to gear them in the course of a month up
Yeah.
to the endurance of the?
Slowly
of
building
the-
up. I mean,
Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
yeah, our phys ed teacher, Peter Lowry, has a program for them. They have a warm-up, and then if it's not a great day, they run in halls,
Mhm,
and
mhm.
he talks about pacing, and, it's just, he gets them ready. They have a month to get ready.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah.
Nice.
So prizes are unique in the Rockingham 5K. And for people who haven't seen this, would you just go
They
over
are-
that again of
they're usually
the style of, I guess, the species of prize?
Yes.
species of prize usually is pig related, for sure. We haven't yet determined
Oh,
what exactly we're going to be giving for prizes this year.
Mhm.
But,
Yeah, and who's getting what?
and who's getting what.
Typically, it's a ham and some bacon.
Bacon and
pork
Yes.
chops sometimes. Yeah.
Sausage, there's
Sausage, we've had
There you go.
sausage, yeah.
So
or
it's,
ham
it's-
steaks. There's
Yes,
been, yes.
yeah.
so there in and of itself is incentive to sign up and do the run.
Absolutely.
And to do
Oh,
your
certainly.
absolute best, because you
Yes.
could win a
Yeah,
ham.
you could
When your
win a
Easter
ham.
ham.
Yes.
That's
There
true.
you go.
That's
Yes.
true. Right on top of it.
Knock
Yes.
off the Easter egg. Easter's coming right up.
Mhm.
Right?
Yeah,
Right.
perfect.
Yeah.
So tell us a little bit about what the funds go to, so that the community understands the importance of this run. It's your biggest fundraiser, correct?
It is, yeah.
Absolutely our biggest fundraiser. It funds so many things at our school. Jen
I've got
has
it, yeah.
a partial
I've got
list.
a, yeah, this probably isn't even covering everything, but it has covered our residency with Natalie Kinsley Warnock, our One School, One Book. First and second grade go swimming for a month in February and March. Each grade goes for 4 weeks. Skating at VA, a Raptor presentation by Vince, sleds for recess, our bus for second grade's trip to the aquarium. We do a trip to the movie theater and get popcorn and water downtown here in Bellos Falls. That's the whole school thing. And
In the past, it's helped with replacing fencing. We put a water fountain down in the kindergarten art room, music room wing. It's the amount of things we can do
Yeah,
with money.
and,
is
and it's so nice to
remarkable.
have like
Yeah.
like a pot of money that
Yeah.
you
It-
can
I mean,
choose where.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so
And
it's
these
not
are all
like-
extra things for
Yeah,
the students.
it actually helped with purchasing of some glasses for students this year for me.
Glasses, right.
Yeah.
I was
Wow.
able to.
As well as the
students that needed-
PTCO.
Yeah,
Yeah,
PTCO.
It helped
but-
also, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So in addition to being fun, it also it allows you to, sounds like a lot of the things that you do with the money exposes kids to things that they might not get to do otherwise.
Absolutely.
Mhm.
Absolutely.
And I think that's an
Yes.
important thing to
Yes.
realize, that for the community to realize it's your number one fundraiser. You also do a big raffle because you sell raffle tickets. So if people don't want to
Yes.
come and run, they can buy raffle tickets
Right.
because that
Yes.
helps fund.
Every CES student will be selling raffles
Mhm.
tickets starting next week.
Mm.
Yes.
And all of the funds go back to the students, and it goes back to a lot of important extra things beyond the education component that really are education related.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So how do they? So they can register at the day of the event, but can they register online?
They can register online. They can go to active.com, or they can go to ces.wnesu.org, or they can stop by the school.
Same thing with the raffle tickets. They can any teacher, any student, they can get the raffle tickets, or
Yes.
you can show up that day. I've done that
Right.
before too. You can show up
Yes,
that day
you
and
can
buy the
show up
raffle
that
tickets.
day. Every student will have raffle tickets. We'll have raffle tickets at the school. If you know a staff member, they can get raffle tickets. We have so many prizes and just so many things coming in. The businesses and people around town and the staff members have been so generous in
Mhm.
donating.
So generous.
It's become, they're contacting us.
Good.
Oh, great.
Yes.
That's really good.
Yeah.
So I guess I would say if people did have prizes and they wanted to contribute those prizes to this cause, how would they contact you?
They
Same.
can, probably, they could call the school, they could tell a staff member, they could even send it in with a student. Yes.
Great.
And are you looking for volunteers to help the day of the race? I know sometimes that's a tough thing to get
Yeah.
to, like road
Always could
road
use
people in
volunteers.
directions.
Always, we just want to keep everybody safe. The
Yeah.
more volunteers we have, the safer we are. And there's many students, between the Thunder Chickens and our Rockin'ham runners, there's many students running. And we want to just keep them safe.
Mhm.
And you have an established route, right? This is the same route this year that was last year, isn't it?
Right.
Yes.
So that'll be
yes.
something that if people were familiar with doing it last year, it's the same route. If you liked it last year, you're going to love it this.
And pending the weather, we have a little surprise for the hill.
Ooh,
Keep
okay.
in suspense.
A little-
You guys always
A
throw a little
teaser, yeah,
teaser.
I like
Throw a
that.
little
Always-
something extra in
Yeah.
every
Yes.
every because usually it's I think traditionally it's always like really cold.
Yeah, we put the order in for
For
good
some-
weather
yeah,
this year.
you do it every year, right?
Yes,
And it doesn't
yes,
always bad.
yes.
But we seem to be on track for a good spring. We're starting
Or
with
an early
an
spring,
early
maybe.
spring.
so,
Yeah,
for sure.
talking
This is
about
the
it.
year.
Yes.
Although I
Good
saw
weather.
Yes.
Hope so.
I heard it was fall spring, but we won't go there.
Oh, you're always the naysayer.
I know.
Always the naysayer.
It's the first spring of March.
The first spring of March. That can happen sometimes.
Yes.
So let's just run down for the community again. The date of the event,
August,
No.
April 4th, yes.
registration starts at,
9 o'clock,
Okay.
the day of. You
Day
can
of.
register before.
okay, the
Online.
race starts at,
The
10:30.
actual race starts at 10:30,
10:30?
but you
Mhm.
need to be there earlier.
it's a 5K
Yeah.
ways
Yeah.
that the community can support. They can either donate a prize, they can buy tickets for prizes. This is if they don't want to run, they can show up and run, or they can volunteer to help.
And
Yeah,
we
you
also
can
take
also-
donations.
Yeah, we
Yeah.
take
Oh, donations.
donations. And I
Yes.
wanted to just say, you can pick up your bib the night before too. If,
Yes.
if,
Okay.
so a lot of runners like to do that. I think
Yeah.
Right, then we
Yeah.
just have to
Five.
show
Yeah.
up a little bit.
Yes,
at
yeah,
the central school.
Nice.
yeah.
That's for the online
Yeah,
registration.
yeah.
Yep.
So if you,
And-
yep.
We really want to thank the local businesses. They have stepped up and really donated.
Mhm.
It's been,
that's
their
great.
sponsorship is huge to making this
Well, shout out to
successful.
you all too, because this is all teacher driven. It's not driven by administration. It's not driven by the school board. You guys do this as a volunteer. You put your time in to organize it and to have those funds available. So shout out to you all too, to the central school staff.
It's a fun project.
It is fun.
Win-win, right?
There you go.
Yeah.
Okay,
Well, you have to go to school.
We do, we do.
Speaking of school, they're gonna be late and the teacher's gonna be mad.
Yeah, that's right. So, but thank you guys for coming on
Yes,
again, and
thanks
we'll
for
see
having
you,
us.
hope to see you next year doing the same thing, and I hope it's a great race.
Thank you.
And a
And
great
we'll
day.
put in our order for good weather for you too.
Thank you
Thanks.
very much.
And we're gonna go to a clip called The Drifter.
Fascinating, actually.
Yeah, it is. This is,
We'll talk
this is
about
a
it
sort of a
afterwards.
surprise thing. We'll talk about it afterwards, but we're gonna go to clip right now.
I am Zar Miljevic. Drifting. Way of life. It's fun sometimes, and sometimes it's not so fun. Why I chose it? My answer is I don't know yet. I guess I just drifted into it. To me, drifting, it's a desire to go and to see and to meet the world. The world's there, man. All you got to do is say, hey, how are you? You know, I'm here. I want to meet you. It's a very fun and beautiful world. Just go out there and meet it. One of the worst parts about drifting, running out of cash, you have nowhere to sleep, maybe you're out on a bench overnight, which isn't so fun. Really, you're not going to go hungry because there's food, there's trees, there's food places like here in Vermont.
That's gonna be a new show, or is that just a clip?
Well, that was a
I hate it when
clip.
the ghosts show up.
I know, we were
The
doing like
Ghost of
the
Fact TV.
Woodstock feedback.
Woodstock Feedback. Woodstock Feedback.
It's going to be a special that Alex has produced about the drifting. And it's, I guess drifting is actually a choice.
That's what it seemed like. Yeah.
Czar is the person who he's interviewing. He has traveled all over Europe and all over the United States, basically finding work and working enough to make a living, but not enough that you would have a house or anything. And then, but the point of drifting, I guess, is to drift.
It's a drift. Interesting.
But aside from that, the other thing that's really interesting about the drifter is Alex shot it all on his iPhone.
I know he was saying that beforehand, and that's I would not have guessed that.
No,
the quality, it's
yeah,
really
the
good
quality is really good. So a couple things. Watch the drifter and learn about drifting. But also pay attention to how it's done and the things that you can do on an iPhone, because one of the things that we want to do at Fact TV is encourage people to start producing their own content using their smartphones. And this is like the perfect example of what you could do. And I thought that looked really good.
I thought it looked very good. He got a lot of good shots and the quality of it. And the iPhone is, not that the cameras are hard to learn, I don't want to put that out there.
Yeah,
but the
yeah.
iPhone is definitely easier to use. It's definitely
Yes,
more portable,
yeah.
and you can do almost as much with it as you can with.
And everybody has one, not everybody, but almost
everybody.
a huge majority of the people have phones now, and they at least have some elementary idea of how to use it, and just with a little polish, they can probably turn out something that's worthy of showing. And then the other thing was that the sound was really good too. That's always the bugaboo.
I was just going to ask that question. Was there any external? It just you picked up the sound all from the iPhone?
I think so, and then he did.
Yep.
Yeah,
he
it's
did,
all
yeah.
on. He's signaling us that it was all on the iPhone, and
Nice.
so yeah, with some elementary. I think you could actually do most of the editing on the iPhone too with the apps they have. But you can come into the studio and do editing also.
So I think it's a good thing to point out for people that they have events to promote, or and they can't either come into the studio to do an official PSA, or they don't have the time. If you're trying to promote an event, just do it real quick on your iPhone.
Yeah,
Then send it to Fact. Especially if it doesn't need to be edited, just send it and it can go up.
Yeah,
As part of
or
the-
if you see a newsworthy event, if you happen to be walking down the road and you see something that's unusual, a moose being ridden by a raccoon or something like that, you can take a
'Cause that
picture of it and
happens all the
move it.
time.
Well, it happens every,
That's
not
the
all the time,
unusual
but
event.
yeah. But you know what I mean. If you see something unusual and that's interesting, you can take a little video of it and send it in to us, and we'll post it up. Or a great sunrise, something like that, or something that's newsworthy. Maybe I hate to bring up fires, but they often happen in places where there are people there, but most people don't get to see it. And like just the other couple weeks ago, I just happened to be driving through town when one occurred, and it just But that would be something that would be really nice that people. I mean, people do like seeing it, and people like seeing what's going on in town, and it's another way to do that.
Like, for instance, if somebody happened to be at the voting last night to get the election
Exactly.
results. And then they're going to send it to Fact
And
TV,
then they're
we
gonna
would
send it to-
know, we would
instead
know
of-
if the budgets for the school boards were
Yeah,
passed.
that's one of the things we don't know is whether the budgets for the school board were passed. But I did find someone did, and I think it was Alex, did take a picture of voting results, and I know that Pat Fowler did too. But there was voting yesterday. There were results, and for the select board, Sue Hammond won the 3-year position with 546 votes. Ben came in second with 437, and Stefan came in third with 232. And then if we look at the 1-year position, Ben won with 889 votes. Stefan came in second with 573, and Michelle came in third with 481 votes.
So those are some good numbers. So it looked like there was good turnout.
Well,
So that's great.
really good, because
Yeah.
when I saw some of the numbers, I was like, wow, that's, because usually,
Usually the turnout is not so
yeah,
good.
not the.
Yeah, they ran out of ballots.
They ran out of
They ran out of
ballots?
ballots, that's,
Yeah. that's
Oh,
right.
wow.
wow.
That's
That
great.
just in.
Breaking
from
news.
Breaking news, they ran out of ballots and had to
Wow.
do something. I don't know what they did. Did they write them down? And
I don't know.
yeah, but anyway, well, that's great news. I
You
like it
write
that there's
your
two.
vote on a piece of paper and send it.
Yeah,
I don't know. I
yeah.
don't know what they do at that point. That's wonderful that the community turned out, and the people that were there campaigning were there the whole day. So
Yeah,
you could stop and
exactly.
chat with them.
And there were a couple people that actually stepped up and wanted to be written in for the school
For the
board.
school board, yep.
So that was really good too. I think they probably got the positions because they.
There was nobody running.
Yeah,
so
there was
yeah.
no, that's sort of the bad and the good is the bad part was nobody was
Mm-hmm.
willing to step up at first, and the good part was these few people stepped up at the very last minute and said, here, I'll do it. And it says something about our, I don't know, says something about our system. Is like we were talking about it a little bit before. Is that it's tough.
Is it tough?
It's
to be
a
on
tough,
those boards are
thankless
hard.
job. I mean, it's like it's not like you can just go in and show up and hold the place. You really have to do the work. You have to
They
create
develop the
budgets
budgets.
and
They
do all
have to
this stuff.
understand the
And
budgets.
then, no matter what you do, somebody's gonna not be happy.
Pretty much. Pretty
And
much.
it's usually the not happy people that are the verbal people.
So,
And,
unfortunately, so kudos to the people that did step up to do it, and then kudos to the people that are on the boards that
Yeah.
do step up every
And
year.
the same with the slate board. I don't mean to minimize that we have people running, but it's really not an easy position, and
It's
it's a
not.
lot of work. And thank you for doing it, and we really appreciate that.
So we have not a huge amount of local events this week. Just want to remind everybody, Cabaret's coming right up. Opening night is a Friday, the 13th. I didn't think it was a Friday. I thought it was Thursday. Friday the 13th. I was gonna put some angst in the performers. Opens on March 13th. So the 13th, 14th, and 15th. The show is at 7:30. Following weekend, the 19th, 20th, and 21st. Again, shows at 7:30. And on March 14th, Saturday, and March 21st, Saturday, 2 p.m. matinee. I know a lot of people like the matinees because they
Yeah.
go to dinner afterwards and they make a whole event of it. The Bells Falls Opera House, tickets on sale at www.mainstreetarts.org, 802-869-2960, or available at Village Square Booksellers. So get your tickets. I've seen they keep posting, if you follow Main Street Arts on Facebook, they post a lot of rehearsal pictures and the costuming. Once again,
Oh,
the
boy.
costuming, the set design,
Just
and the
unbelievable.
quality of the actors.
Yeah.
It's a lot of the same actors that have been in David's plays, and this isn't your mama's local theater, I guess,
Yeah,
for lack of a
no.
better term. I don't know how else to put it. This is very, very good quality theater right here in Bells Falls, easily accessible. Tickets are, tickets are probably like $20, $25. They're not hugely expensive. You'd pay way more to see see it in Boston or on Broadway. And I don't see the quality as that all much less.
I don't either. That's really, I'm glad you brought that up, because it's such an important point. And every year he raises the bar.
He
It's not
does.
like they started off really good, and now they're amazing. The sets are unbelievable, the costumes are unbelievable, and the shows themselves are just great.
And it's just fun to go. It's fun to go. You see a lot of people you don't know, which is even
Yeah.
more cool, because you know that it's bringing people into town, which is great. And the more that they come every year for these events, the more that they're going to come for other things too. And maybe they're going to come as a destination to go shopping, or
Or maybe they'll move here and
yeah,
open a business and renovate a building, and then
make it energy efficient.
make it energy efficient, and maybe have youth there.
Which segues us to our next topic about our new
Yes,
show.
that was smooth, wasn't it?
was very smooth.
That's like we
Smooth
were like,
as,
smooth segue. That's
as
one of our
Final Touch.
specialties.
Or
Final touch.
whatever it
Oh,
is.
sorry. That was an earlier joke when I
Inside
got
joke.
Final Cut confused with Final Touch.
Which we think is a fabric softener.
Yeah. So Final Cut is an editing program, and Final Touch is a fabric softener.
You had to be there, folks. It really,
wasn't.
otherwise it's not as
It's not
funny.
as funny when you go back over it. But
So new show.
new show coming up.
Starting, I don't know if we have an exact release date, but we have
I'm
begin
hoping this
production.
Friday.
This Friday, okay.
My target is this Friday.
Then you have to do it solo because I'm not here this Friday.
No.
Oh.
We're going to tape it tomorrow.
I'm not here tomorrow either.
We may have an
have
issue here.
Live TV. That's a problem with live TV.
That's the
We
problem with
haven't had a
live TV.
conversation
We
ahead
may
of
have to
time.
have. But anyway, hopefully this week we're gonna, because we did one of the interviews yesterday. Hopefully we'll maybe finish up today, because we only have like a little bit to do. But it's going to be about Take Action Rockingham, which is the community-driven community improvement project for projects. There's 3 different projects that are forming up. There's the build, although the word build is a bad word.
Right.
But it's
The
build
youth
a youth
center.
center is what they use, but
Maybe
it's
create.
more create or develop a youth center. And then the second one is become more energy efficient resilient and
Sustainable, I think.
sustainable, which is where I'm in that group, and the first thing we're trying to do is figure out a better way of saying that. We're trying to come up with some sort of acronym or something that sort of brings it together. But we're looking at it, creating what's called a community resilience organization, which is sort of encompasses all of those things. And then the third project is renovating and redeveloping old buildings in Bellows Falls. And that's a big one. I mean,
That is a big one, yep.
I bring it up third, but I think it's like one of the most essential projects, and the other two can sort of fold into
Well,
that.
they all totally
Yeah,
layer
yeah.
on top of one
But
another.
it's really important that we do some of this stuff,
And
because
our-
we have so many.
Our goal is to within those three organizations, to make sure that they're communicating with one another, so that we'll keep the communication flowing, and then we'll keep the communication flowing to you as a community through the show.
Okay.
Because the show is just dedicated to Take Action Rockingham. So it's
Yeah,
not, it's
yeah.
not another version of the feed, it's
It's
dedicated
we're
to,
not gonna talk about the feed at all.
never,
Never, ever.
ever.
All right, but that's it for this week. We need to break and go talk with Alex about when
What are we
when
gonna
we
film
can do
Take
this
Action
other show.
Rockingham?
All right, take it easy, Bellows Falls. Good seeing you. See you next week.